Hi boys and girls, Mrs. Brinker here, and I'm going to show you fourth graders how we are going to start our non-objective sculpture unit, or our non-objective sculpture project. So today you're just getting your sculpture ready. This is just a base coat of white paint on a foam base. I'm going to show you how to put together your piece of foam, your wire, about 2 feet of very bendable wire, pantyhose, and of course white paint. Your first step is you're going to want to write your name on your base, and it'll show up best if you put it on a piece of masking tape. So you can decide which side is the bottom. You're going to want it to be one of the bigger rectangles. So I'll put my piece of masking tape on my foam, really make sure it's on there, and write your name with a Sharpie and your class, or whatever. Alright, then you're going to flip your base over and you are going to attach your wire. So first, and you might not see this in the whole frame of the camera, so I'll tilt it and show you in a second, but first you're going to make it kind of a U shape. So I'll make the two ends go down here, and I'm going to really stab it into the foam so it stays. And as you can tell, it goes up pretty high. After I stab my wire in, I can kind of manipulate it. So I can bend it how I want it to go, make it more interesting. Look at it from a few different angles since it's 3D. See if I can get you more in the frame here. Alright, there we go. So I got my wire kind of in an interesting way, and I can change it again later. Right now it's just my first attempt. Then I'm going to take my pantyhose, pinch the capsule at the bottom below the lid here. It's kind of a funny container. And then there's two in here. You'll give one to someone at your table and keep one for yourself. Doesn't matter the size or the color, we're all going to be painting them white anyway. You're going to start with at the opening of your pantyhose and kind of wind them down using your thumbs. Okay, so I have it all scrunched together. I'm going to start at the top of my wire and work my way down. This is kind of tricky, so take your time. Eventually you'll get down to the foam base. Now my wire is kind of moving in ways I don't want it to, so I'll fix it later. Alright, so I'm going to kind of make my wire stand up again once I got my pantyhose all the way on. That's kind of interesting. And you want to, again, look at it from all over just to see what it looks like from all angles, not just the front, but the side and the back. Alright. Then once you have it the way you like it, if you have a lot of extra pantyhose on the bottom, I have a little bit extra, but if you have a lot extra, you're going to want to cut that off. I'll show you what that looks like, just because it's going to make it so your sculpture has a hard time standing up, since that's right at the bottom. So I'll take my scissors, just pinch that little bit extra, and be careful not to get your fingers. It's a little tricky. And cut that extra off, so it's a little bit more of an opening there. Alright? Cool. Alright, once you have your pantyhose the way you like it, you can start painting your first base coat, your white paint. And this is probably the hardest part. Since your foam and your pantyhose are really porous, you're going to have to go over with white paint a lot, so take your time. And make sure you wipe your brush off on the side, otherwise it's going to drip all over your table and then that'll be a nightmare to clean up. If you don't finish this step today, that's okay. All right, so I'm really wanting to look around and make sure I got an even white coat all over. No spots are missing. And your fingers are probably going to get a little messy today. That's okay. All right. So after I go all the way around my foam base, I'll start doing the top part of my sculpture. That's a little bit trickier because there's not a whole lot of solid mass underneath it. So I got to just kind of gently paint white on there. And just like before, you're going to want to look all the way around to make sure you get all your spots, because it's easy. It would be easy for me to miss underneath this part right here if I was painting from this angle, because I don't see it. So you got to turn your sculpture around as you go just to make sure you get all the spots covered. All right, so you guys get the idea. I'm going to keep working my way up until the whole thing is